Good morning, champions. Let me tell you something right now. You were not born to be average. You were born with greatness in your DNA. But greatness, let me be clear, is not inherited. Greatness is earned. It's carved out through sweat, through discipline, and yes, through practice. You see, we've been told all our lives, practice makes perfect. But that's not true. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvements. Because there is no such thing as perfect, only better, only growth, only the next level. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something every single day, even when you didn't feel like it? Because that's the secret ingredient. That's where the fire lives. Not in the talent, not in the opportunity, but in the consistency, in the grind, in showing up day after day, bruised and tired, and still saying, I'm not there yet, but I'm better than I was yesterday. Let me take you back to a little boy who couldn't speak properly. They told him he had a learning disability. They said he'd never amount to anything. They labeled him, boxed him in. You know what he did? He practiced. He studied. He trained his mind like a warrior trains for battle. Not once, not twice, every single day until the thing he feared became the thing he mastered. That boy, he's now a man who speaks on stages all over the world because he believed that practice makes improvements. Let me break this down for you. You want to become a better speaker? Practice. You want to become a better parent? Practice. You want to be healthier, wealthier, happier? Practice. There's no magic pill. There's no secret formula. There's just work. There's just repetition. There's just getting up one more time than you fell down. You've got to want your dream bad enough to work for it, to bleed for it, to cry for it, and yes, to practice for it. Not just when it's easy, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's hard, especially when no one's watching, especially when no one claps for you, because that's where character is built. That's where destiny is written. Let me remind you, every master was once a disaster. Every pro was once an amateur. Every winner was once a beginner. So don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Don't let your ego keep you from growing. Don't let fear stop you from trying. You weren't born knowing, none of us were, but you can learn, you can grow, you can improve, but you've got to commit. You've got to say, this is who I'm becoming. This is the version of me I'm fighting for. And then you practice like your life depends on it, because in some ways it does. People might not believe in you. That's okay. Let them sleep on you. Let them doubt you. Let them ignore your grind, because one day they're going to ask how you did it, and you'll tell them the truth. I practiced. I didn't quit. I showed up when it wasn't pretty. I worked when nobody was watching. And every day, I got a little better. That's it. That's the formula. Now I'm going to say something, and I want you to hold it in your heart. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are in process. You're in progress. You're on your way. So today, if you're feeling discouraged, if the mountain looks too big, if the dream feels too far, just remember this. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to get better. One step, one action, one rep, one breath at a time. Because practice makes improvements, and improvements make transformation, and transformation changes your life. Let me close with this. Champions aren't born, they're built. Every drop of sweat, every lonely night, every tear, every try again, it's all adding up. You may not see the results yet, but trust me, they're coming. Your time is coming. So hold your head up, lock in, get focused. And remember, the power is in your hands. Not because you're perfect, but because you're practicing. And every day you practice, you're improving. Progress, not perfection, is the path to greatness. This one truth can change everything. Most people never reach their full potential, not because they're not capable, not because they lack talent, but because they're chasing the illusion of perfection. They want to get everything right the first time. They're waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect environment. But let me tell you something real and raw. Perfection doesn't exist. It's a trap. And if you wait on perfection, you'll wait your whole life. What exists, what's real, what actually moves your life forward is progress. One step, one move, one attempt, one mistake, followed by one lesson. That's how greatness is built. Brick by brick, not by standing still, trying to draw the perfect blueprint, but by getting your hands dirty, trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. That's progress. That's power. See, we've been conditioned to think that if we don't get it right the first time, we're not good enough. We label ourselves as failures. We walk away too soon. But the truth is, the people you admire, the ones who seem flawless, they got that way by failing forward. They got that way by chasing better, not perfect. They made progress their goal, and progress always moves you forward, no matter how small. Perfection says don't move until everything is certain. Progress says move and figure it out along the way. Perfection fears mistakes. Progress embraces them as teachers. Perfection waits for confidence. Progress builds confidence through action. If you want to achieve something meaningful in this life, something that stretches you, elevates you, and fulfills you, you can't be perfect. But you can be improving every single day. Here's the truth. You are going to mess up. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. You'll fall. You'll be embarrassed. People might even laugh. But don't stop, because every time you try again, you're gaining experience, you're sharpening your skills, you're building mental muscle, and most importantly, you're proving to yourself that you're not a quitter. That's how you build greatness, by making progress when nobody's clapping, when nobody sees, when nothing feels certain. Every champion you know, they didn't arrive perfect. They arrived prepared. And how did they prepare? By progressing daily. While others were stalling, they were practicing. While others were doubting, they were developing. That's the difference. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. And here's what makes progress so beautiful. It's personal. Your progress won't look like anyone else's, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to be faster than them. You just have to be faster than the you of yesterday. You don't have to speak like them, move like them, think like them. You just have to evolve your own voice, your own pace, your own rhythm. And when you measure yourself by your growth instead of their standards, you take back your power. You own your journey. Progress rewires your brain. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's working. It creates momentum. It builds hope. You might not be where you want to be yet, but when you see that you're improving, you start believing. And when belief enters your mind, nothing becomes impossible. Progress feeds belief. Belief fuels action, and action creates results. You don't have to leap today. You just have to take a step, and then another, and then another. Because over time, small steps taken consistently create unstoppable momentum. That's how you win. Not by being flawless, not by having everything figured out, but by refusing to stop growing. By choosing progress, by getting up every time you fall and saying, I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm still in the game. Consistency beats talent when talent stops practicing. That's not just a motivational line. It's a law of life. You can have all the talent in the world, all the gifts, the natural abilities, the raw skill. But if you don't show up, if you don't put in the work, if you don't stay in motion, someone with less talent but more discipline will pass you every time. Talent is a spark, but consistency is the fuel that turns that spark into a wildfire. The world is filled with people who had potential. People who were brilliant, creative, fast learners, smooth talkers, naturally strong, born leaders, but they got comfortable. They relied on their talent alone. And when life got hard, when the applause faded, when no one was watching, they stopped growing. Meanwhile, someone else, maybe not as gifted, kept grinding, kept practicing, kept learning, showing up, staying humble, getting better, inch by inch. And when the moment of opportunity came, the consistent one was ready. The talented one was not. Consistency is the quiet force that builds greatness in the dark. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. You won't always get recognition for it. There's no instant gratification in repetition, but the results it creates, unmatched. The body gets stronger with consistent workouts. The mind gets sharper with consistent reading. Relationships grow deeper with consistent effort. And skills, they evolve into mastery through consistent practice. Here's what you need to understand. You don't need to be extraordinary to start. You just need to be consistent enough not to stop. The best athletes, they train daily. The best speakers, they rehearse relentlessly. The best entrepreneurs, they show up even when the numbers don't look good. They stay in motion. They adjust, adapt, evolve, but they don't quit. That's the edge. That's what makes them dangerous. Not just their talent, but their work ethic. You might look at someone and say they're just naturally gifted. But what you didn't see were the mornings they got up before the sun, the nights they stayed late practicing one move, one phrase, one idea over and over again. You didn't see the sacrifices, the rejections, the failures that they turned into lessons. Talent might open the door, but consistency is what keeps you in the room. It's what builds the character to handle the weight of success. There are people who will start faster than you. There are people who might be ahead of you right now. But if you stay consistent, you'll catch them. You'll pass them. Because the truth is, many people won't keep going. They'll stop when it gets hard. They'll stop when it gets boring. They'll stop when they don't see instant results. But not you. Not if you understand the power of consistency. Not if you commit it to the process, not just the prize. This world rewards the ones who stay locked in. Not just the ones who shine once, but the ones who shine again and again because they refuse to stop practicing. Consistency is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the amateurs from the professionals, the talkers from the finishers. You don't have to be the most talented in the room. You just have to be the most committed. The one who won't go away. The one who stays focused when others lose interest. The one who keeps pushing even when nobody's watching. That's the person who wins. That's the one who builds something lasting. Because in the end, consistency beats talent when talent stops practicing. Every master was once a beginner who kept showing up. That's not just a truth. It's a foundation for every success story you've ever admired. The ones you call legends, the ones you see dominating stages, building empires, changing lives, they all started somewhere. They all had a day one. They all looked awkward, uncertain, unpolished. But what made the difference wasn't that they started better than you, is that they kept going. Too often we forget the early chapters of greatness. We see the highlight reels, not the bloopers. We see the trophies, not the training. We see the confidence, not the crushing self-doubt they had to fight through. But every single one of them was a beginner once. They didn't have it all figured out. They didn't walk in with flawless execution. They had to learn. They had to stumble. They had to repeat the basics 100 times before they could move with precision and power. And they had to show up day after day when it wasn't easy, when it wasn't fun, when nobody believed in them. That's what separates the master from the rest. Not superior genetics, not divine luck, not magic, just commitment, just repetition, just the courage to keep showing up, even when it feels like you're making no progress, even when the voice in your head tells you you're not good enough, even when the world around you is silent, not cheering you on, because showing up is an act of defiance. It's a declaration that says, I may not be there yet, but I'm not staying where I am. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they stop. They quit too soon. They let their beginning define their future. But those who rise, they embrace the awkward phase. They understand that greatness is born in obscurity. It's forged in repetition. It's carved out by doing the same thing again and again until it becomes second nature. There's no shortcut to mastery. There's no bypass for growth. You can't download experience. You can't stream excellence. You have to earn it. You have to invest in it. And that investment is made one day at a time, one choice at a time, one moment at a time by showing up. You want to speak with impact? You got to show up and speak when your voice shakes. You want to lead with confidence? You got to show up and lead even when you're unsure. You want to be a champion? You've got to show up and train when your body says rest, because the repetition you put in now becomes the foundation of your future strength. What feels hard today will be your warm-up tomorrow. If you keep showing up, every skill you envy, every talent you wish you had, every person you think is naturally gifted, they all started where you are at the beginning. The difference is they didn't stop. They showed up when it was inconvenient. They showed up when no one else believed. They showed up before they had results. And that showing up built something inside of them that no one could take away: resilience, grit, discipline, identity. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are a beginner. And being a beginner is a powerful place to be, because it means you're in motion. It means you're learning. It means you've got space to grow, space to improve, space to rise. The ones who win are not the ones who knew everything at the start. The ones who win are the ones who said, I'm willing to start and I'm committed to continue. They understood that mastery isn't an event, it's a journey. And every journey begins the same way, with one step and the decision to keep stepping. Improvement lives in the discomfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It doesn't happen when you're relaxed, coasting through life without resistance. Real improvement, the kind that changes who you are and how you live, starts the moment you step into the place where things get uncomfortable. That place where your hands sweat, your voice shakes, your mind screams, I don't know if I can do this. When you stop the pattern that your unconscious mind says, I can't do this. When you don't, that's where transformation begins. People want results, but most don't want the discomfort that comes with them. They want the skill, but not the struggle. They want the stage, but not the silence of daily practice. They want the reward without the risk. But here's the truth. The discomfort is not the enemy. The discomfort is the doorway. Every breakthrough you seek is on the other side of something you're afraid to face. And every time you choose to lean into it, you get stronger, not just in ability, but in belief. You see, we've been wired to avoid pain, to seek comfort, to take the path of least resistance. But that path rarely leads to greatness. Comfort keeps you stuck. It tells you to play it safe. It whispers, you're fine where you are. And if you listen to it long enough, you'll start to believe that your current level is your final one. But you are built for more. And the way you reach that more is by doing things that challenge you, stretch you, and force you to grow. Discomfort doesn't mean something's wrong. It means something real is happening. When your muscles burn in the gym, they're not breaking, they're building. When your brain feels overwhelmed while learning something new, it's not failing. It's forming new connections. When you step into unfamiliar territory, you're not lost, you're expanding. Improvement lives in that tension. It lives in the awkward reps, the failed attempts, the uncomfortable conversations, the long nights, the messy progress. You cannot improve if you're not willing to be bad first. You cannot get better at something you're unwilling to struggle through. And that's the mindset shift you have to make. Discomfort isn't a signal to stop. It's a signal to stay. Stay with the process. Stay with the learning. Stay with the effort. Because every time you stay in that zone just a little longer, you level up. The reason most people don't improve isn't because they lack potential. It's because they retreat when it starts to hurt. But the pain you feel when you're uncomfortable is the very proof that you're doing the work, that you're moving forward, that you're alive in your purpose. You've got to embrace the friction. You've got to run toward the edge, because the edge is where the magic happens. You don't have to like the discomfort. You just have to learn to respect it, to trust that it's taking you somewhere better. And the more time you spend in it, the less scary it becomes. What once felt impossible starts to feel familiar. What once made you nervous becomes part of your nature. And over time, what once lived in your fear begins to live in your skill set. The people who grow the most aren't the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who use it. They know that discomfort is a teacher, a refiner, a mirror that shows you what you're made of. And when you stop running from it, you stop running from your own potential. Improvement is waiting, but it's not waiting in the comfort zone. It's waiting in the arena, the messy, loud, uncertain, uncomfortable arena where you show up, take hits, and keep moving.